the phone cameras are actually built to only shoot at 30 frames per second, but with some kind of wizardry inside the phone, they can actually give you variable frame rates. And so what we wanted to shoot in PAL, which is 25 frames, right? So some of the apps, even though you can set it, does not hit the 25 frame rate. There's drop frames, they're called, right? So occasionally you get drop frames, which is why the phone that you buy is also important, you know? So if it overheats, it will drop frame, right? So like I was saying earlier, so managing the heat and you know, managing your RAM, you know, make sure you're not too full as well, you know, if the phone is full, it slows down. So all those things affect the frame rate. So you want to get your frame rate good so that it's easy to edit, basically.
Yeah, so I think the frame rate was important for us because we are recording the sound 25.
Yeah, exactly. So because we record a separate sound, and you know, and we need to sync it.
Traditionally, if you play back in the mod. So you stop and then you go to the monitor to have the seat and then play back, wait for the playback, you know, check again and then go back to the set. In this, we just play back on the phone with the actors, you know, okay, there's something you need to change and playback was quite fast. It was just like, filmmaking is getting so bloody convenient and easy, you know. It was just with the actors, cut, okay, what do you think? Okay, let's change this, then we do it again. So this process, right, for me, I think for action film, right, is only way to go. That's very valuable. Amazing, yeah. Other than, I mean, I think when you have big budget like Michael Bay, right, I understand. So your monitor is like 1 mile away. So you have they should cut, check the set, check the shot, and they play back, they feed, and then Michael Bay is like 1 mile away. You have the monitor, and then, you know, walkie. Okay, change this, right? But I think for independent filmmakers and Malaysia's environment, right, we know we work with no budget or low budget, right?
Yeah.
It's about
we had some clip lenses. So basically, you've seen those. You know, you can buy them in shops, right? But what we did was we bought actually some higher quality ones. So you get those big ones, you know. So the ones you buy in the shops, you get the small ones like fisheye, macro, you know, wide angle, right? So those are actually not that good. Okay, you lose a lot of resolution. So we bought actually very good ones online, and we use a variety, right? You could see there was a fisheye shot. There were a lot of tele shots as well. You know, some rectilinear wide angles.
Except for overtime.
Except for overtime because it's the action movie. So he only had the phone moving. He had the phone moving a lot. So you know, having an attachment was inconvenient.
Yeah.
So just shot it that way, raw from the camera.
Yeah, raw from.
So I mean, the other thing that a filmmaker might want to be concerned about is phones actually have a set aperture. You know what aperture is, right? So the aperture is set. You can't change it like a camera can go, you know, from f1.8 to f10 or something. You can't do it. So it's always set at that. So our phone was shot on f2 the whole way. So if you shoot in somewhere bright, you'll get a very high shutter speed. That's why some of the outdoor shots you can see, you know, it's very sharp, you know. So if you are very, very concerned about stuff like that, which you should be if you're doing cinematography and all, then you have to find a way to ND filter it down or something, you know. But in our case, it was an exercise in storytelling, an exercise in everything but camera work, you know. So camera work was we did what we had to do to not let it be in the way of people watching the film, but everything else we focus our resources on was outside the problems of the camera.